Welcome to Talking Points, the show within a show. I'm your host, Shar, and tonight I will be sharing the highs and lows of a game that has featured neither a dungeon nor a dragon.
We'll get there.
One of these days, I'm sure. It says here on my card I should improv a little bit, but I better not because that's how we got Schmel. And friends don't let friends improv and get Schmel. So we are coming at you live from the Community Access Media. I have here with me the Dungeon Master who will derail a game if it's funny and will derail the train when the players follow the plot, Brittany Lee. And a man, I have a follow-up question.
Oh.
A man who at every potential opportunity will make sure there's a crab around.
Yes, this is correct.
Ian Headley, tell me about the crabs. Wait, hold on. And someone who is so dedicated to playing D&D, he's helping write this campaign from over 1,000 miles away, Colorado Brown. So tell me about the crabs. Tell me about your crabs, Ian.
I don't know if we should talk about this on stream. This feels like a doctor issue.
Okay.
But no, I mean, I don't know. At some point before the stream started, we had like a one-shot that involved a bunch of crabs for some reason.
That's true.
That was Nina's
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I
so
forgot about
we had
that.
like a practice one-shot, and Nina had us fight a bunch of giant crabs.
Yes.
And for some reason, we just thought it was really funny, so we started listing off crab facts.
Well, here's the reason that I was thinking about you equal crab, right? Is that the one shot before we even started recording. And then the world building, you made Snips.
I made Snips, yes.
And then you have, what, 37159?
His name is Project 377.
377, got
And
it.
he is a metal crab, yes.
Yeah, so like
I
Ian
felt like-
equal crab.
Firstly, rule of threes in comedy.
Sure.
You have to have the third crab, even if everybody else didn't see
Yeah,
the first
nobody
two
saw the
crabs.
first two.
Valid.
But the point is, we all knew it was a good joke.
Yeah.
So it works.
Ian equal crab.
Yeah.
Colorado, what are your thoughts on this crab situation?
I'm excited to find more crabs.
Excellent.
Well, hey, you have the power to put them in there.
More
so.
crabs in Ian's path.
Yes.
Excellent.
there's definitely an oceanic theme already happening,
that's
so
true.
it's very easy to slip them in. At some point.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
you could slip in some crabs.
Yeah.
So we are going to be answering your burning questions about Health Hits experience tonight. Many of the questions are coming directly from the Discord. If you're not on Discord, be sure to head on over to, hold on, linktr.ee/healthhitsxp. Yes, do that. So,
They probably followed that, yeah.
I'm sure they did. Of course they did.
If you guys don't already have your notepads, you're
Yes.
gonna want to get those. You're
Yes.
gonna want to take notes.
Take
on this.
notes.
Please. So, as I was going through some of the questions, the one that was most interesting to me had to do with space werewolves. And does that, in fact, mean that there are other space horror creatures, such as vampires or mummies or anything else?
That's a really good question.
Is that a thing?
Are there?
Well, space werewolves was you guys.
Yeah, but I
So-
didn't realize that there was a chance that you might take it further. So now I'm curious.
What did you think was going to happen? The whole planet blew up.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So-
But I mean, like, vampires, though.
Yeah, that I'm curious about. Colorado, what do you think about space vampires?
There are now.
Hey!
So how will you handle the whole there is no night in space? Or is space nothing but night?
Oh, that's a good question.
See, that's how I was kind of approaching the werewolves, because it was like proximity to moon and also space, and now they're just werewolves all the time. So that was because that was part of when they attacked in the first couple episodes was just they were on a floating. Were they on a moon, Chuck? They were just on like an old spaceship, right, Colorado? Like an old something.
The one on the show or the ones before the show?
Both.
The ones before the show were living on a chunk of moon that hit the ground.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And then they launched themselves at a spaceship via catapult.
That's right.
Yep.
And I think they took some chunks of moon with them.
I think so too.
I think their spaceship has moon chunks in it.
Is there?
So if they had moon rocks in their pockets, would they always be
I
werewolves
feel
then?
like yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Sorry.
By that logic, though, vampires suck. Because if every star counts as a sun, there are always going to be
away.
stars around. So they're just going to be on fire all the time, right?
Fuck those guys.
Or wait. I got it.
Yeah.
They don't breathe. so it doesn't matter if they're out in space without air helmets and stuff.
Right.
And they can't burst into flames because there's no oxygen.
Right.
So the vampires are only fine if they're free floating in space, but the second they get on a ship, if they can see a star, fire.
That's it.
All right, we made the lore here, guys.
Wow.
This is not canon.
No.
This is not canon.
So, Brittany in Colorado, did you mean to go more steampunk or more cyberpunk as you were kind of fleshing this out and taking this journey?
That's a good question.
I will answer on my behalf. I think we ended up going kind of retrofuturism is really what it kind of pulled into, and I was pulling a lot of inspiration from Treasure Planet and Fifth Element, and there's another one that I keep referencing of Valerian City of a Thousand Planets, something like that. And they're like fantasy, sci-fi smushed together. Like I don't really think that they're cyberpunk or steampunk because of the way that it's leaning more into the magic. But we've referenced a lot of cyberpunk stuff, I think, more than steampunk.
When we were talking about it originally, it was very much like, yes, we're doing like a steampunk pirate adventure.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it really like spiraled away from that, like
Yeah, very
really
quickly.
fast.
Yeah.
Which is why I got the whole steampunk outfit,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's relevant anymore.
I mean, I think if you put the LED goggles on, then you're like, you know, the ones that I have that are like the
those ones.
the shiny like light up ones, then yeah,
Well,
already there. I did not bring any.
Flux already has these in the character, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
I can't
true.
change it now.
That's true. I mean, Colorado specifically, when we've been talking about stuff, we've thrown out a lot of concepts, right? Like we aren't sticking to one thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's technologies all over the place, but they've got magic. They've got magical tech. They've got regular tech, which is anywhere from vacuum tubes to steampunk
Yeah.
Uh,
to just willpower. I think.
Yeah. We just hope it works, and it does.
It's true.
That's the power of D&D, everybody.
Yeah, that's not specific to our game, I don't think.
No, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
So, what is it like having a dungeon master and a writer? How is that?
question.
How is that? I mean, most
Yeah.
dungeon masters write their own stuff, and so why does this work?
Because Colorado Brown is amazing.
Okay, fair.
And has been doing this a lot longer than I have. And also, he's willing to put up with my bullshit.
Bonus.
That happens.
I
Always a
think that's
bonus.
it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Colorado, specifically.
So most weeks, the stream ends. I'm sitting in my house. And about a half an hour later, I get a call from Brittany Lee in her car on the way home.
Yep.
What was that? What just happened? What are we doing now? What goes on next week?
Yeah.
And then we just talk about what we're gonna do next week, and how that's gonna lead into things from weeks on end. And we have a synchronicity going on where most of the time what I'm thinking is what's already in her head, and what she's thinking, I'm already putting numbers to.
Yeah.
So I just write things down, I make stat blocks, and then she ignores some of the notes. And
Yep.
Yes,
That's
we've met her.
That's
yes.
what we've heard, yes.
Yeah,
Fuck.
we've met her.
I want to talk about it.
So does it, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like Colorado, is it easier or harder for you to do it in a situation where you're not actually playing? Or is it just because you have the synchronicity with Brittany that it makes it so easy?
well, so a lot of the time when I'm running a game, I don't have nearly as many notes as I write for this, because I remember what I was thinking. But if I don't write it down, Brittany doesn't know what the things in my head are.
That is true.
So
You're not that synchronous.
Not that synchronous.
I am curious
Yeah.
to ask a small question,
Yeah.
which is, I guess it's more for Colorado than anything else, but what was like the biggest thing that was lost in translation? Like what was a big thing that you were like, Brittany, make sure to do this, and then she just didn't do it or something? Or just got it wrong?
the fuel reserves had a roof.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
the cars all the cars were sealed. There was one way in, and I think there was a question about this later on. Your entrance was supposed to be an open window.
Yeah.
oh. In space?
But it's fine. It was before the hyperdrive,
Oh, right.
so the window was allowed to be open.
Wow.
So this
and
is the
Bernie
train
Cotto-
question, right? Okay.
I mean, this is one of many train questions. Listen, I can't read.
I thought it went great.
It went really well. Here's the thing.
Went great.
That game, I went home and I immediately ordered a pair of dice and sent them to Colorado's house.
As an apology?
As an apology,
Okay.
because I was like, I have messed up so badly. I will fix this, but I've messed up so badly.
But it worked out.
It worked out.
We didn't explode,
Yeah,
which is insanely lucky, by the way.
yeah.
I was on the road. I was coming home from a family reunion. In the street, I couldn't watch it live.
Yeah.
All I got were things in the Discord talking about a docking bay 80 cars away,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
and
Yeah.
scattered notes of terrible things, and then
no.
apology texts. I went, what happened?
I can't read.
It was fun.
It
so-
was well, and I liked the problem solving between like my own approach and then Colorado's approach, which was I think, did we flip anything like logistically in the train, or we just basically said they're going backwards now?
We just said we were going to rearrange the cars,
Yeah.
but we decided to change the end posts instead.
That's right. That's right. We changed where stuff was, and we changed because originally it was in the cargo car, and then I was like, they've confiscated it. It's not in the cargo car anymore, and that helped a lot. And then we went backwards. But yeah, so they bypassed everything because I can't read.
There was not a chief engineer originally.
No,
Oh,
there wasn't.
that explains why he was a bit of a weird fellow.
That was just me.
He was very oblivious.
Yeah. Well, and once again, not as written.
So who was the contact they were supposed to meet?
Oh my God, yeah, that's a great question.
Oh, that's a good question, Colorado. I think you would know better than I.
His name, or their name, or who's, whatever. I've got my notes open here. His name was Lagston Krull, I believe. Yes,
Okay.
Lagston Krull, who was deeply in debt with Umal.
That's right.
Oh
and
no, we
originally-
screwed him over.
Yep.
So Langston
no.
was on the train to steal the bike, but is not very good at things. So when you guys were like, hey, we want to be on this train, he said, great, let me call my contact, and change the entire plan. And then you guys crashed into the fuel reserves. And that guy,
Hey, we didn't
was-
crash. We landed perfectly.
That's true.
So hey, it worked out.
that's true. So he just closed his window when hyperspace happened and wondered where those guys that were supposed to show up ended up.
I hope he's still on the train. Oh wait, we screwed him over twice because he's now on the train that can't move
Not
anymore.
going anywhere.
Well, there are other engine cars.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
just can't do hyperspace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
Yeah. They just can't go fast.
We just inconvenienced them a lot.
Yeah, a lot. And you know, it's a corporation, so they're not going to be happy about it.
Nope. That's fine.
It's fine.
We're not good guys, so it works out.
So
We might see cell phone footage from him just like looking out the window, seeing this fishing vessel take the middle car away.
Oh no.
Just whoop.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
So, Ian,
Oh.
I used to be a therapist, and so I need to have some quality time with Flux here because I need to know why Flux is convinced that the crew is going to betray him.
Okay, that's a big question.
We got time.
And it's funny because like you got in your chair in such a way, you're like arranging your stuff. You're
Yes.
like, all right, let's get to the meat of this.
Yes.
So Flux has trust issues, obviously, and I've made it very apparent the entire time that that's the case, because he does not have a very good history with anybody he's worked with. Anybody he's worked with for an extended period of time has either been killed or tried to kill him, and so he doesn't keep contacts for very long because the stuff he does, because he's like this Magitech engineer, is very, very dangerous and very deep in the undermarket. So it's one of those trades where anybody who's actually low enough to get that kind of stuff is probably really sketchy and possibly just wants to kill you. Also, he has a very, very deep mistrust for Zolarians, and he's not sure who has what history with them. So it's this constant sort of like, well, I mean, they say they're being nice, but maybe it's actually all a facade because there's a lot of people I met where it is a facade. So I'm gonna keep the guard up.
He's very young to be so. What's the word I'm looking for?
Jaded?
Pessimistic, jaded.
Pessimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a really bad past with some really important people, which led to a not a very happy upbringing, which tends to happen a lot in D&D, I'll be honest. It's a bit of a stereotype. But
Some
still
stereotypes
interesting.
are true. Yeah.
But also, another thing with that is that he also learned from that if you're not the first person to make the strike, then you'll probably get killed instead. So it's like, oh, I can't be backstabbed if I've already backstabbed everybody else. So it's this kind of mentality of like, I have to kill everybody else, or else they'll kill me, so I can't trust these people. But it's this point where I'm like, I don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
So I think I just have to try to go along with it. So it's just like a very, very like guarded kind of situation.
Yeah.
So how are we going to get him laid?
Yeah, people really wanted to know this.
Yes.
For some reason. I don't know why.
Latched on to this idea.
Apparently, it's the hot topic.
It is the hot topic. Listen, I've offered at least one.
Flux
NPC.
does not care about that right now.
Okay.
Which is surprising. He's 19. You'd think he would. He has more pressing goals, and it's one of those things where, like, romance isn't off the table, but it's not on the table right now.
Okay.
It's like, I have things I need to do before I can even consider the option of doing that. Plus, he doesn't let his guard down around people. You can't date somebody that you don't let your guard down around.
Well,
I don't know. I think the whole conversation with Etrix was a bit in that direction.
Flux recognized that this was somebody that he could use because she had a very similar way of thinking to
You
him.
keep telling yourself that.
Look, man, you're asking what Flux is thinking.
Yeah.
Flux's main thought here was, this is somebody who is similar to me. Like, he saw everything she was looking at, and he was like, I don't find very many people out here that are actually, like, smart, that, like, actually have a fascination with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he wanted to learn more about this person, and he's
Yeah.
like, if I, in this limited amount of time, try to just spin a series of lies, it's not going to work. Because Flux is not good at lying to people.
Yeah.
So he's like, I just have to be honest about the fact that I'm really interested.
Honest in disguise.
Yes.
That is my favorite part of that whole interaction was Flux being like, yeah, my name is Flux, completely looking like a different person.
I think that made Flux more comfortable, though. So this is something that hasn't really come up yet, but Flux is wanted for a lot of money.
Yes, well,
And so
I think everybody is.
not having his face out is an inherent, like, it's like a comfort. It's like a breath of fresh air. Like,
Advantage.
you put up the mask and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not worried that somebody's going to shoot me right now.
Yeah, right on site. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can be me, but not be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Be
he was
me
honest about a
by
lot of
not
it.
being me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if he had the disguise down, he probably wouldn't have been as open
Yeah.
about it. Because
I think you're right.
he would have been worried about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a danger. So, yeah.
Well, that was a little too level-headed and mature of an answer. I'm not happy with that.
This is a ding-dang comedy show.
Exactly. Come on.
Sorry, Brittany, we
on.
keep giving you, like, serious characters.
I don't know. I think that there are points that I can pull. and make it very funny.
I'm sure it'll happen soon.
Listen, I think Pearl's interrogation was hilarious.
She was very
This one? Do you want to
direct.
date this one?
Yeah. Yeah, no, once again, he's got things he's got to worry.
He's got other
other stuff on
his
his
mind.
Yeah.
They are trying to go on a revenge mission.
Yes.
So
All right.
Murder comes first.
Okay. Murder girlfriend.
Yes.
Girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I guess. I mean, whatever. So Colorado, do you write the comedy, or is it more just everybody ad-libbing being funny?
I like to throw in some funny things. Just little treats for Brittany, mostly.
Little
Uh,
treats for me.
A hexagon of cheese.
Yes, very
yeah.
dangerous.
Very dangerous. Little jokes in the character write-up, but mostly I just leave it up to the talent on the stage.
So when you slide crabs in later, it'll be like a little inside joke from this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a treat for all of us.
I don't even remember where I was. La 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 la.
I mean, there's a bunch of cards. I'm sure you
There
can
really
find
are.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, Space Werewolves. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that one.
Yeah.
We did, okay. Oh, that's it.
This hat is just slightly too small for my head, and it keeps moving up, which is why I don't wear it on stream, by the way.
Because it'll just fly right off.
I'm gonna move my head too fast. It's gonna go.
That's comedy.
So when I keep. Flux is like, oh no!
My head.
We all know that when you get surprised, your head gets very slightly larger.
And your hat pops
it's
up.
weird. We don't know why it happens still.
It's a medical mystery. It really is. Yes. So, Brittany, as a newer DM to long-term campaigns, what is the experience of running a story that'll last over many sessions compared to a one-shot?
Yeah.
Like, what's the differences in those?
Yeah, the difference is that I have to think ahead, but also let the moments happen, which when I do a one shot or even a series of one shots, I have kind of like a beginning, middle, end that I can be like, all right, we're going here now. Whereas with doing something longer form, I can only think in terms of like what is happening right now. And Colorado and I have plenty of plot ideas and plenty of like, okay, when we hit this point, this thing is gonna happen. But as far as like in the moment, I'm having to refocus. I'm having to think, okay, this is happening right here and now. How can I use this in the future? And also, the stakes for me are higher because when you're running a one shot, people can make characters that are super fun and silly and like don't really mean anything. And I can kind of railroad a little bit and be like, well, we're going to this place now because I've got an hour left in this game, so we're doing this now. And then at the end of the game, it's like, congratulations, you heisted the gem and you've done the thing. Whereas here, the characters are being developed and they have ulterior goals that I need to make sure are being played at, and I need to make sure that everybody is getting equal amounts of play time and backstory time and interactions with other NPCs. And so I'm doing more, and it means more, because if I mess up with something, messing up maybe not even is the right word, but even if I succeed at something, that is going to play a role continually. It's going to keep coming back to it. And so storytelling for me, I do a lot of short form stuff. So this is a long form storytelling that the longest form story that I've ever really done is playing as a player in a D&D show. So, but that was easy because I only had to be one character. So there's more stakes just internally, narratively, and then like externally as far as a storyteller goes, because I have to see all the moving parts and make it a fun and entertaining story for the whole time. Because if I gave up now, if I said, okay, well, I'm done with this, and I was lackluster in the storytelling, it wouldn't be fun for everybody to play, and it wouldn't be fun for people to watch. But then on the flip side, if I get too, all right, we're gonna do this, you don't remember this backstory thing, and we're gonna do this for 3 hours, it's like also not fun to watch and play. And so the stakes are higher as far as storytelling and entertainment and narrative. So it's a challenge I've been enjoying for sure, but it's also like every time, every Monday, I'm like,
Yeah,
this
no,
is fine.
That's very accurate. You are always stressing out before the camera turns on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stressed as a person, but I care about it. So the stakes are higher for me because I care. I want to see this show succeed, and I want to see these characters get their objectives, and I want to see in-game and out-of-game success, no matter what that looks like. You know, success doesn't have to be 1 million, viewers. It doesn't have to be, we've told a story that will transcend the ages. Like, as long as everybody's having fun and having a good time, then we've succeeded. But I want that to be continual. So it's a lot of just trying to keep your eye on a moving target is really what it is.
Colorado, what are you thinking as she's saying all that? Do you prefer the longer stories? Do you prefer one-shots? What are you thinking as she's talking about that?
Yeah, it's long form is a lot of fun. It's a lot of moving pieces. I take notes of what changes every week. What new developments. They're not good notes, but I use them in when I can for what happens next week. Pearl is full of Cliff Bars. Okay. I don't need to keep track of that. Pearl keeps track of that. Plenty. Or Robin, I suppose.
I wonder how many Cliff Bars she has.
Well, she also has noodles, at least 1 pack in there.
Says 50 every time.
Yeah.
Just handing them out.
Do you think Pearl
Every
has
chance.
like a magic regenerating inside of Cliff Bars? Like every time she takes one out and then like takes a long rest, they like go back up to 50?
Oh.
I probably.
She is magic.
She is magic.
50 Cliff Bars per long rest.
Yeah. That's a lot of Cliff Bars, but you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll need to feed a small village. I don't know.
That's
I don't know what Pearl plans on doing with those things.
We go to a village next.
So if Flux could automatically regenerate food within himself, what would it be?
Oh God, it's probably just coffee, right? Like
Yeah,
he's
that's the
already a
one.
state of anxious, so why
Yeah.
not just pump that up further?
Yeah.
Just lean into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like how there was a conversation about Flux always needing coffee, but then also Schmel being like espresso, Flux being like no, fuck no.
No,
Wrong actually.
I don't need that. I just need normal black coffee,
I just
please.
need normal coffee, please.
No fruit coffee for Flux. Oh, okay.
You know what though? Like, it's not like he wouldn't like it. It's that he's 19 and he thinks it makes him look mature.
Yeah.
He only drinks black coffee because he's like, yes, this is what the older, like, wiser people
This is
drink.
what
But
normal
he's
people-
like, he drinks it and he's like,
Yeah.
it just kind of tastes like
Yeah.
gross.
Schmel recommended espresso because it was like wake up faster.
Yeah.
Flux is like my metabolism is too fast.
I think, was that in the morning right before we looked in the train car?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Flux was having a bad day
Yeah,
that day.
yeah.
He woke up feeling really shitty.
I just think it's funny that like espresso will do more than black coffee.
Yeah.
Not to be a barista about it. Or anything.
Oh, right.
But,
yeah, why don't next time we get into game, you really just lay down all of the different coffee options?
You've got Yama now, who is a barista.
Oh, is that where you're gonna that's gonna be your self-insert character?
No. No, she's more empty-headed than I am.
She's interesting.
Coffee money, please.
Are you thinking like with Schmel and Yama that they're like now crew members? Like they're part of the team?
Until you kick them out.
So they're just there. They're not gonna like leave. I mean, I'm happy about that. We all love
Kick them
Schmel.
out or piss them off.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Until you kick them out or piss them off.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised Schmel didn't leave. I told him he could. He just decided not to.
Y'all were so into Schmel. The audience was so into Schmel that I was like, fine, he's staying around. Fine.
I just found it
Why
fun. Like,
not?
we got to like a city. I'm like, you can go if you want. And he's like, nah, I'm a guard, I guess.
I guess. You guys suck at this.
So it's like a sense of responsibility. He's like, I've been abducted by these idiot pirates, and I have to make sure they don't die now.
Yeah, I think so. Also, had a good moment with Pearl, so he does like Pearl.
That is true.
So.
He also likes my crab.
He does like your crap.
I don't know why. He's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Okay, that's actually a good enough reason. I don't know why I asked.
It's a little metal crab.
I mean, he's not like. He's like this tall still, like from the floor here.
Yeah,
That's
I
like,
mean,
that's
that's
like
a little guy. That's-
3.5 feet.
That's a little guy.
Yeah, but he's wide though.
Chunk.
Yeah, he's technically a medium creature, so technically he's the same size category as the rest of us.
Yeah,
But not really.
not
That's
really.
weird.
I mean, like, we're not gonna call Cyrus a little guy. So.
No, Cyrus is like 12 feet tall.
It's 19 at least.
Whoa, wait, we're making that jump?
20,
no.
20.
Well, now if we go there, we're gonna have
25.
to start way higher.
100.
Every time we talk about Cyrus, he gets a little
He
taller.
gets a little taller.
But apparently Brittany's just jumping all the way to the end.
Because it's not real.
I was gonna ride this
don't-
out till the end of the stream, man.
I don't remember how tall he actually is.
I don't, like 12 foot 2, right?
Yeah, 12'3", I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Get it right.
Right.
12'3".
Liz is gonna be so mad.
I think she said he was
Open.
actually like 6 something.
Yeah,
Like 6'3" or 6'4".
yeah.
At most 6'6".
What were you gonna say, Colorado?
I'm pulling up Cyrus's character sheet.
Thank you.
Turns out he's actually like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
We're all like, oh.
Yes. What's
I
the
don't know
canon?
What it is. 6'8".
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow, 6. I was gonna not overestimate.
Yeah.
But wow, okay.
Yeah, 6'8".
6'8's pretty dang tall.
Pretty tall.
Not small.
But it makes sense. Awesome are naturally like really tall anyways. If you actually consider that, his legs are like goat hooves. So if he actually like stood up on his hoof toes, he'd be like 7.5 feet tall.
Easy,
He
yeah.
just has to fully extend himself. He's like a slinky. He's like, you just have to pull him.
You heard it here first. Cyrus is
sorry,
a
Liz.
slinky. Cyrus is a slinky.
Liz doesn't come to the show, and I immediately I'm like, yeah, Cyrus is a slinky, obviously.
Cyrus is a slinky, obviously.
a goat slinky.
A-
Like let's
yes.
not
True,
let's not
yes.
gloss over that.
Yeah.
A goat
Yeah.
slinky.
Yeah. He's like, I would say he's half goat, but he only has one leg, so he's like a third,
Third
1/4 goat.
Get a hydraulic in the fake leg and just
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect.
you know how I would really get Cyrus.
Every time he intimidates someone, you just hear like, tss, and he just gets taller. It's really stupid. We should move on to a different question.
We shouldn't be making any kind of references to characters who aren't here.
But it is funny.
It is
I
funny.
was gonna say that's a good rule, but it's also
It is funny.
It's funny.
I think if Liz takes out my kneecaps, it's deserved. And also, why not?
Yeah, it's a valid lifestyle
That would just
choice.
be cruel. You're already so short. Just get even shorter.
I think I'm too short. I'll duck underneath the swing.
Oh, maybe it'll be like an underflow. Like she'll take out your knees and then you'll get really tall.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That'll make me taller.
So, okay.
You see what I have to deal with?
Moving on to another question.
We might be chaotic gremlins.
No,
I forgot how chaotic the two of us are together. Like,
maybe just a smidge.
welcome to our show.
Yeah, super jealous of you, Colorado, that you're so far away. Anyway, so, okay. So, many pirates have taken over the airwaves in order to brag about their crimes, as bad guys love to do.
Yep.
To boost their popularity. So, is there a crew or an individual that is like the most infamous throughout the system, like the big bad that is like strikes fear into the hearts of all kind of thing?
I was wondering this too, actually. We never really talked about it.
I'm pretty sure based off of the world building that y'all did, it's Captain Solar.
That
I
does
don't-
make
I
sense.
don't. You are too.
What's the ship name? Do you remember?
Captain Solar of the Solar Flare.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good name.
yeah, and I think we determined.
Flare is, of course, spelled Flair.
Yes.
True. Because it's Captain Solar.
So what was the story with him again? I don't remember.
He was
I'll be
the
honest.
first one to hijack the broadcasts. So when the age of piracy started, he was the first one to kind of take over.
And how many years ago approximately was that for our viewers at home, and not me because I forgot?
We have this written down, right?
I think it was 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was somewhere between 15 to 25. So I
Yeah.
guess I-
Well, we'll say 15.
All right, great.
15.
Hasn't been that long.
And he is retired now, I believe, but
Soft retired.
Yeah, soft retired. I'm picturing it the same way as like Captain Flint in Treasure Island, right? Where it's like that's the name that you aspire to and might still be around because it's like, mystery, ghost, all that.
He's got legends.
Yeah, legends
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And so that's Captain Solar, but Captain Solar is still around. He's not dead. So
Does anybody know where? Is it just like
he's on an island planet somewhere.
he bought a planet?
Yeah,
He's just hanging out.
He's
there.
hanging out.
So we have like a sexually ambivalent
Yeah.
bad guy.
Well,
That's
so-
like not the typical like, ooh, I'm.
They
uber.
sound awesome. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I want to meet this person.
Yeah, Captain Solar is like what you aspire to as a pirate. I feel like calling the pirates bad guys is so rough because we have such like moral ambiguity in this show.
Yeah.
I did kill people.
Moral is in like who is the bad guy, right?
Oh, yeah, no,
Because
there's
we've
not
got
really
the Zolarian Empire, which is the government, we are framing as the bad guys in the campaign. We've got the pirates themselves, which to civilians would be bad guys, but within the world that we're building, feel they are justified in their actions, right? And then we have the pirate hunters in the one shot that we did, who also believe they are correct and right, and don't necessarily work for the Zolarians, but they're contracted, so they're not Zolarian proper, right? So like the only good guys we have are just the average people, the
Well,
civilians.
there's a resistance as well, right?
There is a resistance. They haven't really come to light as of now.
No, we just heard a little bit about them, so they
Yeah.
sound like they might know what they're doing.
Sure, but I think within the world that we've currently built, there's no like pinpoint of like that group because we haven't really talked about the resistance. We've mentioned them offhand, but we don't. They might be shit.
Morality as a whole is
Yeah. So like
join
calling-
a side and you'll probably maybe be the
You'll be.
good guy.
You
You'll
might
a
be
fire.
kind of the good guys-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like personally framing the pirates as the not necessarily like good guys, but at least advocating for the good guys because there are a couple pirates that have just like straight up been like Zolarians suck. We're gonna take their shit, right? To the point where they robbed a baby.
Yeah, where did that come from, Brittany?
My brain apparently.
I'm sorry.
So
You mean like they
That one's not me. That one I didn't have anything to do with.
immediately you wash your
Not
hands
gonna
of that
take
whole art?
responsibility for that.
Wait, they robbed a baby like the baby had something and they stole it, or they kidnapped the baby like stole the baby?
They robbed the
Yes.
baby. They did not kidnap the baby. The baby is currently missing. This group of pirates didn't take the baby. They took the baby's money.
So robbed the baby
Robbed
is
the
the
baby.
correct.
There was a baby holding like a wad of cash, and they're like, mine, and they just ran away with it.
Wow.
So what I was envisioning was this baby had parents who were high-ranking Zolarians who were killed in action of some kind, right? Whether it was the pirates or not that did it, I don't know. But this baby was being taken care of by droids, which, as we all know, droids are only really able to be used by those who have money. And I figure most Zolarians, high-ranking,
And
have money.
For clarification, droids are fully tech?
Well, like Pearl. Droids like Pearl.
So she's
like Magitech, sentient. We talked.
But it's
about
okay
it.
because the Zolarians are using it.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
just
that was,
making sure.
that's the thing. It is the magic rules don't apply to Zolarians.
Yeah, they can use whatever they want.
They
I
can use
guess.
whatever they want. But I pictured the pirates coming in and just like sweeping the house, and the droids running off with the baby, of being like, peace, you're not getting this child.
Oh.
But all of this because I said some dumb shit out of my mouth. That's D&D, baby.
The best thing about it is like it was like the stream like just started. It was right after the break.
It was at the end of almost at the end of the stream.
Oh, right, because you started a stream by explaining it.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
had to
mixing it up with. Because you're like, oh, I need to
I
correct
was
this.
like, I need to figure out why I said this.
I remember the clip now.
Yeah, because it was just, I don't know, it just happened. Improv, yes and.
Well, I kind of feel like that goes back to what you were talking about before as far as one shot versus the full story arc. It's easier to do just a one-dimensional black hat person in a one shot. But the other ones, I mean, people are not all good or bad.
Yeah, we see the world, we see the choices that they get to make. Like there is no black and white in real life, so I think to an extent doing that in game is good. You don't want to get to the point where you're like, I don't know where anybody stands, like we're all bad, like that's not fun to do.
Yeah.
So
I think lumping in all the pirates under one kind of, like the Zalarians say, oh yeah, all pirates, they're all bad. But some of them, like for the one shot, they were kind of Robin Hooding, maybe.
Yeah, I felt bad killing those guys, I'm going to be honest.
I needed to have
But
consequences.
Some pirates are out for blood, out for money. They're your classic, Robert Stevenson pirates. And some of them are doing Robin Hood things. Some of them are just trying to survive on an old fishing vessel.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just like people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's nobody. There's no. It's cartoonish
Yeah.
to have somebody that's just
Yeah.
all bad or all good.
I actually like the fact that like our crew is still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like I know, like I understand that like you really want a good party dynamic, but I like that we're all like at different areas on the morality scale and like the what we're doing kind of scale.
I think there'll definitely be some things that'll have people making decisions very quickly.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like too, the thing about like what Colorado was saying about, the Zalarians saying all pirates are bad and then the pirates themselves being varied is such a good way to look at like, in real life, if a group's, if authority says this group is bad, like take it apart, see what is actually happening, and maybe it's true, but maybe there is a Robin Hood group and there is just a murdering group of weirdos, and
Yeah.
there's a lot to it, and I'd like to explore that more of like what is being said about groups of people is that true?
For the fact that we didn't include humans, this show is so human. It really is, and
Yeah.
I think that's really actually, I like it.
Yeah.
It's probably poetic or something. But it's
know.
just the fact that it's just like, look, everybody's doing their own thing, man. Everybody's figuring it out on their own, and there's going to be some people who are stronger than others, and they're going to say those people are all bad. It is what it is.
Yeah. So how do you think each crew member would react to an animal stowaway?
Oh, that is a really off-the-wall question. Okay, this is an important question. How big is the animal? Are we
Is it a
talking like a
crab?
rat, or are we talking like somehow like an entire tiger is just a board now?
I was wondering the same thing. Is it going to be something like soft and squishy and cute? Is it going to be like something scaly and scary? Although I don't want to say that all scaly things are scary. But, I don't know.
How cute, how passive, how big.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's say it's a angry cow.
Like specifically angry.
Yes.
If it was angry, we'd just be like, we got to get rid of this thing.
Okay.
I assume if it was a passive animal, there'd be more actual debate, because then we'd be like, well, what should we do with this? We have limited food stores, I assume.
I was gonna say somebody's gonna recommend eating it.
My
Probably Hieronymus.
thought process is, assuming it's a cow, and it's not immediately angry, so we should just kill it. I think Flux would be one of the first people to be like, well, we can't afford to keep this thing. Like, this thing is just gonna eat our food, and it's really big, so it's just gonna keep doing it. So he'd probably be like, we just gotta get rid of it. And he'd either just throw it off the ship, or be like, we should drop it off on the next planet we find it. Flux does not get easily attached to stuff.
What if it was a cute little fuzzy bunny?
Flux doesn't like living things.
Oh, okay.
He's even stated before, he's like, I don't like organics.
Yeah, life forms.
I prefer creatures that are metal. That's why he likes Pearl the most out of everybody so far, because he's like, she's predictable.
Yeah.
She has she has an algorithm. I mean, maybe she's like a little damaged, but there's like a usual like a pattern she falls into.
You don't like Otto though.
I don't have anything against Otto. He's just a little chaos man, and Flux is not a chaos man.
It's just a little orb.
Flux is very like, I would describe Flux as ruthless. Like he's like, there is a point there, and I am here, and I'm going to go in the straightest line to get there. It doesn't matter what's in the way. And so like with something like a cow being on the ship, it's like, well, it's either we keep this thing and we probably starve and need to spend more money on it, or we get rid of it, and we're gonna get rid of it because I don't want to spend more money on this stupid thing that I don't care about.
Yeah, I think if it was smaller, Cyrus might want to keep it. Cyrus likes trinkets, so I imagine that extends to living creatures.
Okay.
Pearl? No idea. Pearl is.
I think Pearl's like a nanny, like take care of things.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
So that would bring out her nurturing
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
I think if
As
something
long
like
as
that.
it did,
What was that?
as long as it didn't try to gore a crew member first thing.
Yes.
Because I think if it attacked, Hieronymus, it'd be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rapier would come out immediately.
I think if it was around long enough, Flux would do that thing where he's like, I mean, I don't like hate it,
I guess.
but like he's like actually like I kind of enjoy this animal, but
Yeah.
he would never admit it.
But he would never say
Is
it out
Flux
loud. He's
just
like,
a cat?
pardon me?
Is Flux just a cat?
A little bit.
I think Flux may be a cat.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's definitely connections there. Just in this, like, I'm going to do my own thing. You leave me alone. And
Yeah.
whether or not I like you is dependent on the day.
Yeah.
And has absolutely nothing to do with how you are acting. It just has to do with how I'm feeling.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Flux is not good with emotions. So how he's feeling is just going to be day to day.
He's not gonna think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I already showed it with the fact that he just woke up and was like, nope, not a good day today.
Fuck off.
Don't like it.
I pictured that whole interaction as that one image from SNL of teenager who just woke up.
Well, because he's got hair that looks like messy seaweed already. So I imagine he woke up and it was just like even more, just like fucked up and all over the place. But also, Flux also got damaged with a lightning baton and it probably hurt him pretty bad. So
Yeah.
he doesn't like that either.
Yeah. Healing.
Yeah,
That'll make you cranky.
he's recovering, yeah.
Yeah. It's a long rest. I give them all a long rest.
Yeah.
They should be fine.
According to D&D, long rest means you can survive anything, but
Good night's sleep heals all wounds.
I like acting like there's at least a small recovery
Sure.
period,
Sure. I like narrative acting.
Yes.
I'm just making a reference to how D&D usually is played, which is not how I do it.
No, we don't do the usual D&D. But we can make up some fun stuff because of it, so it works out.
Yeah, I mean the fact that we're just in space already is like insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
space time.
half of it is me being like, I think narratively it's gonna be this, and half of it is me being like, all right, Colorado, what are the stats? What's the stats on Space Train?
We need numbers.
We need numbers.
That makes sense.
So, Colorado, I wanted to ask you about the Aura scanning technology. Like, where did that come from, and what was your inspiration? What I mean.
So that one actually comes from the world building as well. That is a technology holdover from the Dortian Empire, or the Dortian Federation of Cultures, something. That was how they would identify everyone. And when the Zolarians took over, there was this rich database of everyone in the galaxy.
Might as
So
well
we
use
kept
it.
using
Yeah.
Well, use it. And Aura actually, Brittany came to me and said, I want to make this more sci-fi. And I went, okay, let's make it an acronym. So it is Oscillating Ultra Visible something.
I couldn't tell you.
Oscillating Ultra Visible Registered Assessments.
There it is.
there
Yeah, I
it
just
is.
remember that you sent me, it was like clearly an acronym, and I just didn't ask what it stood
Yeah.
for. I just assumed it was some techie thing.
Yeah. Well, and Aura originally, I believe the first conversation we had about it in the world building was just a reference to like just auras, like the way that we talk about like magic and things like that. And then Colorado and I sat down and were like, all right, how do we sci-fi this? Because it was a good idea. It just was so off from what we had developed previously to that. But then having it be like, we've equated it a lot to like the ability to walk into an Amazon store that doesn't have any cashiers, and you walk in, you buy a thing and it automatically takes it from your wallet,
I'd say
whatever.
the Zolarians and Amazon definitely have some connections.
So that's what we've equated it to. So as far as like what it equals in the sci-fi world, it's kind of like, you know, I can pay for things with my watch. So it's like, you know, it's very on track to have that. And it's just not like an implant or anything. It's just like you have a magical scan.
And it's a very good system to make sure your money doesn't get stolen unless we make technology specifically to steal and copy your aura, which we have now.
Yep.
I was
At
going
least
to
one of
say
those.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, they're always one step ahead of us.
Flux technically had one. I don't know if anybody hasn't watched the first stream. Flux technically has one. It's just really janky.
Really
it's
janky.
actually in my inventory as janky aura scanner.
Yeah.
And it's like it might copy one or it might break.
And it might, I think, did we say it might like hurt the person you're copying too? I think maybe.
Maybe? I don't
Yeah.
even remember.
But if I recall correctly, there is a chance at any given time that it will stop showing the replicated. It will just stop projecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. That's why Flux hasn't been using it. It just wasn't worth.
You walk through a scanner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth trying to use it and then having it fail and the whole
Yeah.
plan goes up in smoke. But now we have a real one, so that's good.
So can Flux breathe underwater?
Yes. So he has a set of gills along his neck that allows him to actually filter oxygen out of water. We just haven't really been in water yet, so it hasn't been relevant. Flux actually is a fully amphibious creature.
Really?
He has the ability to live both on land or underwater, depending on his preference. He doesn't prefer to live underwater.
Like a frog.
He prefers to be on land. But just like the way he's built, like with a lot of his adaptations and stuff that he has on his body, is designed for him to be more streamlined underwater. But he also has weird adaptations that don't look like they should work underwater, like the long claws he has on his fingers for some reason.
Like a platypus.
That's true. They have those on the back feet, though.
That's true.
But Flux's gills they're not just like, oh, 3 nice slits. Like, they're like janky looking, which is why I brought attention to it last time. They look less like gills and more like somebody just like cut like into it. It's gross looking.
Oh.
Which is why Flux covers it up
I was
with a
gonna
scarf.
say he wears a scarf.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have a reveal.
Yeah. We have to visit like a water planet or at least like a really big spa so that Flux can like hang out.
Spa day. No, beach episode. We always have to do beach episode.
But everybody else is gonna be hanging out and playing volleyball, and I'm just gonna be like
in the water.
under the water, my little thing.
Little invasive of the
I got the goggles on. I'm like watching them.
But will you have your scarf on in the water?
That depends.
I feel like you would suffocate if you had something wrapped
Well,
around
yeah,
Oh
your
yeah, it
ankles.
would be like waterboarding.
Yeah, that wouldn't work very
No.
well.
No.
No, he needs the gills to like actually breathe.
Breathe, yeah.
Whatever. Breathe.
Well, you say this, don't, but I have threatened to suffocate them many times because
Yeah,
I don't want you to talk about oxygen in space. It's not fun. But apparently that is all we're talking about.
we consistently bring up the fact that we can't breathe in space, and Brittany's like, "Shut up! I just want you to live in space. It's fine."
I want open ships. I want like just, like a tall ship that you could just be on in space. But no, we have to talk about breathing and oxygen. What if none of them breathe oxygen? We don't know. What planets have what on them?
Okay, that's valid.
So don't talk about the air.
I wanted to lampshade it because I felt like someone was going to ask, and Brittany said no.
No, I refuse. And at this point, I'm gonna fight you.
I've personally been imagining that the ships have like a little bubble around them. Like it's not visible, but like if you're within a certain range of the ship, you can breathe. But then you get to a certain point out of range, and you're like, oh, I'm now dying in space.
That's kind of what Colorado and I talked about a little bit. We talked about equating space to like water, right? Where if you are underwater for too long, especially further away from some kind of vehicle that you can be on, you will suffocate and die.
Flux can actually breathe space as well. I didn't mention it earlier, but
So, space gills.
Suffocate you for real.
So there are space gills
This
in
is the
addition
closest
to.
I've been to you this whole game. It's dangerous.
yeah, no. Normally the reason that Brittany sits like a good like yard or so away from me is so that she doesn't actively kill me on stream, because that actually violates Twitch's terms of service.
Yeah,
We've been trying to avoid that.
unfortunately.
All right,
Gremlin hours.
see. Let's. Well, I was going to say one more, but this one probably won't take so long, and I really want to know
Okay.
which crew member would be able to eat the most chili dogs.
Schmel.
Okay, this question depends on a lot of things.
Schmel!
While I appreciate that, firstly, I need to know if Pearl just has an incinerator in her chest. Because if she does, it's Pearl. She can just keep pushing them in there, and they keep burning up and turning to ash, and then she just, I don't know, it gets expelled somewhere.
I need it.
But she won't have room because of the number of not kind bars. What kind of bars?
Cliff bars.
Cliff bars. She won't have room because of the number
True.
of cliff
So maybe
bars.
she can't have a furnace in her because she has so full.
Yeah, she's
Cliff-
got
Yes.
storage inside.
No, maybe she has a furnace, but it's just entirely filled with Cliff bars, and it's just never lit.
It's never on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Robin.
She was
We're-
like, I could use this to burn things, but I'd rather have food.
Yeah. It's,
So assuming she doesn't have that,
"What's up, Colorado? I heard you try to give an answer."
yeah, what's up?
Second place, I think, would be Hieronymus, because he could just change into something with a
That's what I was gonna say.
stomach the size of you.
Yeah.
Can he just shapeshift his stomach to be like gigantic? And
I
then
bet you he
Just
could.
eat like 1,000
I
chili
bet you he
dogs.
could. Yeah.
Wow.
So probably Hieronymus, then
Stretching.
Schmel.
Then Schmel, I guess.
And then-
Well, no, I feel like Cyrus should eat more. Cyrus is kind of a bigger dude.
That's
So
true.
like
Cyrus
Cyrus
is
would
a
definitely
big
have a
guy.
big appetite.
I'm still rooting for Schmel.
so what are the consequences of eating chili dogs in space as far as bathroom issues, tummy troubles? Who would have the most tummy troubles?
I mean, I assume we have a bathroom on the ship, so it's probably fine. But
If everybody eats chili dogs, it's going to be a bad time.
Doesn't matter how many bathrooms you have.
yeah, Flux doesn't care that
Yeah.
much.
I think probably Schmel would have the most issues. Like Schmel would be like, I can eat this many chili dogs, and then would immediately throw up.
Immediately regret
I
it.
feel like Schmel has just lived like a really normal life.
Yeah.
So anytime we try to get him to do anything that's like weird, he immediately is like, yes.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I forgot that I dropped out of college for a
Whoops.
reason.
Comparatively, Schmel's just a normal dude.
He is literally just a guy.
He's just a guy.
No
just-
magic powers. No
I'm glad
tragic
that I
ma-
happened to charm him. Just by sheer coincidence.
It's just a guy.
But he's trying to be a cool guy.
Well, not really.
No?
But I think he will. I think he hasn't yet because he's still coming off of the charm. And he's just like, these guys are stupid, I guess. I'll hang out. And then is like, I don't know, maybe not, but I'm predicting the more there's like pirate stuff, he's gonna be like, yeah, I have a sword now.
I think technically we could just give him back his sword. I think we just took it from him. So.
Yeah, but like pirate sword.
Oh.
You know, he's got a electric
The lightning
blade.
batons are
Yeah.
cool, though.
Yeah, you're probably gonna keep it.
Yeah. Well, I think we grabbed a bunch of them, so I can actually give him back his and still keep like all the other ones from all of the people we killed.
Yeah, all of the people you killed. That won't come back to haunt you at all.
I just remember, like, when I first killed that guy, you were so like, oh my god, you just murdered a man.
murdered him.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm a pirate. Where do you think this was going? Like, you were surprised that I went to violence.
Colorado keeps reminding me that they're pirates.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I have never truly played or run a game, campaign-wise, that has had murder hobos. Never. The game I am most familiar with is the campaign on No Dice. And we genuinely spend hours deliberating what we do with an NPC, and I think we've accidentally killed 2. Accidentally. So I am used to that mindset. And then all the one-shots, even if I run them, I don't necessarily set anything up where you are rewarded if you kill an NPC. So I'm just not used to it, okay?
I do not believe we are murder hobos. Because we have Flux has only specific people he's willing to actually kill.
Sure.
And it's like people who actually willingly take more power and use it over other people.
Sure. But when I say this phrase, Colorado is like, yes, pirates who don't have a home murder hobos.
I mean, we do just live on a ship. So if we ever kill, I guess technically, yes.
Yeah, technically murder
I mean,
hobos.
Flux does have like a home, kind of. It's just in the undermarket, so it's debatable whether or not his little shop is still
Well,
there.
and I think the other thing too is when you were all put together as a team, the goal was not to just do a slash and dash. basically.
Nope.
Like it was, you have skills that will help you heist this thing.
Yeah.
So the intention behind everybody being a team was not you have good powers of killing. It was so there was a precedent set of you have a skill set and you're going to primarily use that, and then things have kind of snowballed.
Well, we still have been using our skill sets mostly. It was just like that one situation we were like, we literally can't figure out the answer to this, so I think we just have to start killing people.
Yeah, unfortunately. That one's on me.
I actually genuinely am like, how did you want us to get that aura scanner?
I was just
You
gonna
were
say.
gonna go the other way.
Okay, yeah, but you knew we weren't gonna end up going that
It
way.
wasn't supposed to be in the armory because you went the wrong way. It was gonna
So-
be in the cargo car that you were allowed to pick up and take. That one's not my fault.
Well, by the time we got there, it was just funny because I was like, how did you plan for us to get past that? And you're like, well, you should have had the aura scan. I'm like, how'd you plan for us to get the aura scan? And you're like, well, you did it wrong. And I'm like, what? It's like, listen, I made the key for it. It's just outside the dungeon. Good luck.
You had a contact that would
Hold
have.
on, I want to hear what Colorado has to say.
I intended for that to be a fight. I was ready for that to be a fight.
Yeah, I
watched
know.
more.
I know.
You knew?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's no way you did. I mean, you had stats for the guards and stuff.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna not stat things that you could potentially hit, but I'm also not going to have it be I didn't stat the barista, you know,
Should we have killed the barista?
No, I love Yama. She's trying to start a union.
No, Yama's great.
I'm so sorry. This show has turned into me yelling at Ian. I'm very sorry.
You know, I have a feeling I kind of knew that's where it was going to head anyway.
Goblin
Nah, this
hour.
is all stuff we've already talked about.
Yeah, that's
so.
true. We have already talked
This
about
is stuff that the show ends and I'm like, that was interesting, and you're like, you fucked up everything.
You've done it wrong. No, okay, let me say this. There is no wrong answer, especially in D&D. I am just getting used to consequences because I've not run a long campaign before. I've run longer one-shots, so I've certainly done things outside of, we've only sat down for one session and that's it. I've done longer experiences. But knowing, I think that's the thing that riles me up is a decision is made and then I know that there's going to be consequences to it. I can't just be yeah, you killed a bunch of guards, that's going to be fine, right? If it was a one shot, yeah, absolutely. Who cares? You've done the heist. But there are consequences now, and so to me, I get invested in characters. I am having a ball playing with everybody at the table, and so I'm invested in every character and everything they're doing. And I'm like, I don't want you to experience these consequences. Now I feel like I have to be a bad parent.
I was going to say you're like a mom.
Yeah, I think between the two of us, Colorado and I are the parents of this show, but I think I'm the dad where I'm you kids got into the garage. You are gonna get a whooping.
Now,
I mean,
yeah.
That's part of being a DM.
I know.
You have to watch your players do something stupid and then go, all right, well, here's the consequence for
Yeah.
that. And then the players are like, oh.
I won't do that again.
I think a lot of players at this point, I feel like when 5e first came out, there was a lot of horror stories.
Yeah.
But players were like, oh, why am I getting punished for murdering half the town? I feel like a lot of people now understand that those consequences are there. And so, when I play a character that does something that is bad, it's because I put it into the character and not because I don't see that was bad.
No,
Flux
that's
is
what
doing
I'm
a
saying.
lot of shit that I'm like, I would not do this if I was
Yeah.
not playing him.
Yeah.
But I made a character that is purposefully flawed, and I'm
Yeah.
playing really hard into those flaws.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly, I think that is the thing that I love most is how everybody involved. I asked everybody to be a part of the show for a reason, and they have skill, and they have talent, and they have the ability to jump into a character and do that for a long time. And so I'm not seeing anybody make choices that I'm like, what the fuck was that, right? I'm seeing character choices being made, and I'm like, these character choices are being made. And so whenever I get passionate about it, it's not because I think that Ian did a bad job, right? I'm getting passionate because I'm like, why the fuck would Flux do that? But in a way that I understand that it is a narrative choice being made and not you're out of left field making an out of character choice.
Yeah. The only time I ever make out of character choices for Flux is when Flux is way smarter than I am. He has an intelligence of 19. I have a real life intelligence of somewhere around 10. So the fact that Flux is like insanely smart is going to mean there's going to be certain circumstances where he would probably think of something that I would not think of. So like the biggest example immediately is him fucking jumping off the ship onto the train. I'm like, obviously he would have remembered a rope. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot, so I forgot the rope.
I don't know. I think that there's things to be said about like emotions taking over your logic of like
Oh, sure.
just being like.
But
"All right,
in
we're
that
going."
circumstance, there was no, it was like, we got a job to do, which is exactly when he would have been like, now let's tie a rope to me so I don't fucking die in space. So stupid. That's such a series of bad rules.
Until it wasn't. And
Yeah,
when-
until we landed and when she was all good.
And it was fine. It was.
And left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
left.
can't believe there was 2 nat 20s on landing and departure.
And flying, specifically with Cyrus and the ship. I cannot.
I'm glad it happened. I didn't want to explode in space.
I think the thing
Got
too
a
that.
plan.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really the plan. I was thinking too, like the role, I just didn't even mention it, but on stream, I think with everything added, it was like 32, I think, for Cyrus to leave.
Yeah, we figured out that like with all of the bonuses, it was like 30 plus. Like
Yeah.
it was insane. I think it was 36.
Okay.
Like it was insanely
So it was
high.
like the smoothest takeoff ever, and I did not address that, and I wish I would have, because it wasn't just a nat 20, it was a nat 20 plus.
Plus like 100 other things. Yeah.
So there was a really good fly.
We had Liz roll this D6 and everything, and she got a 6.
Yeah.
Like it was stupid.
It was insane. It was, and I know that Liz is like, that's it. That's the only good rolls we have. I bet you it's gonna be some more good rolls.
I think Liz she believes she's dice cursed,
Yeah.
and I believe that largely she is. But
Mostly.
when it matters, because we're doing a show, it'll work out
Somehow.
in a fun way.
Yeah.
Whether that's actual success or not is debatable.
Yeah.
So the dice gods will smile on her
I didn't
or
use-
smirk on her at least.
I did not used to believe in like dice juju bullshit. I am a very firm believer in math.
Sure?
But ever since playing D&D, man, I gotta say, the dice know when you're good at something and when you're not. Like, if I have a skill that I have plus 10 in, I will always roll like 12 and up. But if I have a skill that I have like a -1, it's like never gonna be higher than 5. Like, the dice know.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're either gonna be really, really good or you're gonna fucking suck, and that's it.
They tell the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
The dice know.
They really
They do. I think it's just because of storytelling.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's a magic to it.
Well, I think it's time for us to wrap up. So, Brittany, where can we find your work? Where can people find your stuff?
Yeah, everything can be found at Brittany Lee Film. I am about to release a video on September 10th on my YouTube channel, and if you're watching the VOD of this, it's probably already out. That's Brittany Lee Film on any platform at Brittany Lee Film, and you can find all my stuff there.
Cool. Ian, remind us of the great work of Omnigraphics.
Yeah, so I brought up before on a previous stream the work of Omnigraphics Design, which is a local t-shirt printing and also various other merch company that has been made recently that has a very thematic space theme that goes along with our stuff really
Yeah.
well. I unfortunately do not have the shirt today,
That's
but I will mention on a later stream, I will bring in some more merch and I will talk more about that in the future. I'll give a link and everything.
Yeah.
But check it out. It's really fun stuff. They got some Portal Design t-shirts, and it's really good if you want to be in a spacey kind of mood.
Cool. So, wow, there's a lot of things
There is a lot of
that I'm supposed to say. So I'm just gonna have Brittany say them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can say them. That's fine. All right, so a bunch of ways that you can support the show and support people involved with the show. So our resident droid and artist, Robin, follow all of her work at Conceptual Roba, the wonderful world of artistry. You can support our members in the control room. Follow Brandon on Twitch at twitch.tv/BrandonMo. Streaming recently Pokemon, OG games on a emulator, I think, something like that. I can kind of hear.
He's talking in the background,
Yeah,
but
I will put on screen what it is in the VOD. Sorry if you're watching live. Support our mods. You can go see Gabby at Comic-Con Erie September 16th through the 18th. There may or may not be Health Hits Experience stuff there, depending on when stuff arrives in the mail. You can support our show's map maker, Jesse, by going to hammerheadcreations.com. And then, of course, once again, special thanks to Nina for being a player during the most recent one-shot that we have. Follow Nina on social media at Nina Wolverina. Also, buy the book. And I will also put stuff on screen if you're watching the VOD. And you can follow us on social media by going to link to tr.ee/healthhitsxp. It's got everything on there. All socials, website, Discord.
yeah, make sure to join the Discord. That's where all the fun stuff
That's
happens.
where all the fun stuff is
we
happening.
regularly interact with our audience and talk
Yeah.
about questions, and it's a good time.
Yeah, super fun. That's all the socials on here.
Colorado, what do we need to know about you as we're closing up today?
I barely exist online.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna plug Jesse's hammerheadcreations.com, but that was covered.
Yep, I got it covered.
That's my wife.
That's your wife.
So we will just light a candle in your honor and
Yeah.
send out good vibes to you. That's how we'll support you. All right. Well, cool. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for asking me to host. I had a blast, and thank you for watching Talking Points.